PR Connections Radio presents. This podcast is brought to you by Envision U. Envision U has discovered how to impact spirit, body, and soul with spray technology in just 30 seconds. With Envision U, you can achieve optimal health and start living the life you have always dreamed of. Use the promo code envisionu.com/VernDix to take control of your health naturally.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're hearing this podcast from. Welcome to my podcast, Prospering in Health and Wealth. My name is Verner Dixon. I'm with VM Enterprise, and I am wanting to have a discussion with you about health, wealth, and wellness, and talk about how they actually interrelate with each other and can create a better environment for you, create a better work environment for you, a life situation for you, particularly if you have your health and you can focus on generating your wealth. And I think we'd have a lot to have conversations about. If you're interested, hang around and get your friends and relatives on board. And so let's get underway. Thank you. Let's go. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Do you have your friends and relatives together? I mean, because we're getting ready for this broadcast. And so for those of you in the audience, I have a very, very, very special guest today that I think you're going to get a great deal of enjoyment out. As you know, I try to bring you avenues of what's happening out there in the arenas of health. And then also, if you need an option to or an activity to generate some additional income, I have those options as well. And so with that in mind, I have folks on the show that I like to interview who represents either one of those areas, sometimes both areas. And so today, let me read you the promo before I introduce my guest here. So just hang on a minute. As I talked before, in terms of looking for health-related areas, I thought about the area of psychotherapy. I mean, that came up as a conversation as I was talking to Miss Dixon there, Miss Brianna. And so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about her area. Psychotherapy is a collaborative process in which a therapist assists individuals in exploring their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, aiming to enhance emotional and mental well-being. There's various approaches and techniques in psychotherapy, including cognitive behavioral therapy, psychodynamic therapy, couples therapy, family therapy, among others. We'll be exploring some of these as we have a conversation with my guests. And with that in mind, I'd like to introduce my guest. And I have to say, my guest happens to be my awesome niece as well. So let's get that on the table as a disclaimer. So and my niece's name is Verner Dixon. How are you today, Verner?
I'm doing well, Uncle Vern. How are you?
I'm hanging in there too, just trying to keep it going and make sure that people know about the things that we bring to the table and trying to make them healthy and wealthy.
Yes.
And so with that in mind, since I am so proud of your background and what you do, I'm going to read your background here. Verner Dixon is a licensed clinical professional counselor and licensed clinical alcohol and drug counsel based in Nevada. She's here, folks. She's here with expertise in anxiety, trauma, substance use disorders, and life transitions. She helps clients navigate stress and uncertainty with compassion and practical tools. Through her private practice, she focuses on empowering people to feel seen, heard, equipped to handle life's challenges and resilience. So, I mean, that is an awesome, awesome way because, we talked about anxiety and kind of introducing that in their area. And so, again, I'd like to introduce Verner Dixon as our guest today. So, Brenda, how are you today? You're doing great, I'm assuming?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much, Uncle Verner, for placing me in such a position where it not only just validates who I am, but it also gives me an opportunity to be a part of another family, expedition of the wellness and wealth, health and wellness sphere, if you will.
It's an arena. Yeah,
It's an
yeah. I
arena,
mean, but
a
yeah.
sphere.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I mean, well, obviously, I'm over the moon happy to have you here because I am just so impressed with your background, and I've always been impressed with you. You've always been that light in the family, that energy in the family, and you've always brought positive vibes to the family. And in any area that you've been in, that I've been in with you, it's just been happiness all the way around. And so, and with that in mind, in terms of psychotherapy, tell people a little bit about yourself and why you ended up moving in this direction.
So I ended up moving in this direction because I am the product of a parent who suffered in silence with a severe mental health disorder. My father, as yourself, was a survivor of the Vietnam War, and he came home with some things and some memories and some concerns. But as you know, back then we didn't really understand what those things meant. PTSD was a word, but it really wasn't something that we felt comfortable talking about. And so there were just things in his behavior throughout my lifetime that I had noticed. But again, I wasn't in the mental health field yet, so I didn't understand until later on when the problem started to get to a point to where it had escalated. So now we have, a diagnosis of PTSD and bipolar disorder. He's suffering severe depression. He didn't have any manic moments. His was complete and utter debilitating depression. So wasn't until I found some medication that he had that I learned that he even had these diagnoses. So through that and then through just some other interactions, personal, family, friends, learning, how substance use and mental health go hand in hand, even though we try to treat them as separate conditions. I decided that this is what I wanted to pursue, and this is what I wanted to do. And in the walk through school and undergrad and grad school and all the things, I then learned about myself. And as you mentioned, that happiness, that I'm a jokester, I laugh, I'm the comedian of the family. I learned that too about myself, that I have ADHD and anxiety. So that was my way of covering what I was feeling inside that I didn't know was what it was.
Yeah.
I just thought that, oh, okay, I have a lot of energy and I need something to do with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where we are.
Okay, well that's awesome. I can see how it direct you in that area. I mean, PTSD is something that's significantly, I guess, in the forefront of issues now. But I mean, you're talking about, like, I'm a veteran. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I hear every day that there are so many veterans that are committing suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard to try to get to those people and help them diagnose their situation and see if you can help pull them into a situation where they have a reason for living, as opposed to being in their own mind and going through those trials and tribulations in their own mind and not sharing that with other people. And so I think that's very significant. So when you talk about your dad having PTSD, I mean, again, it's a well-known entity, but I was just so excited when I understood what you really did and how you did it. And again, it's about you being that light that I always saw, that cheerfulness that I always saw. And I guess based on some of the things that I understand about depression and anxiety and some of those things, some people do they have a personality like they're trying to they covering up what the issues are, and they're not really dealing with that. When you see them out in
Mm-hmm.
they're happy, outgoing. I mean, people just wouldn't think of something going wrong with them. And then they hear about, oh, did you hear about so and so? They
Mhm.
did because they were, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And so, I mean, do your, I don't want you to get into anything that you can't really talk about, but I mean, in terms of other people that you talk to, are you seeing a lot of that, or just let me know what kind of things are you really seeing?
Yes. The increase in fear, worry, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know if my money is going to take me to where I need to take me. I don't know if my children will be okay. What am I leaving to my grandkids? Will they be okay? So the anxiety, which is a fear based emotion,
Hmm.
um, and feeling, is has, I would say, heightened over the past year or two. Let's even remember COVID, right? We're just kind of really getting through isolation, and so we still have people that still are under that bondage, if you will, of what that period of time did and how it impacted their mental, emotional, and physical health.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, and again, I have been talking a little bit more often about anxiety,
Mhm.
in particular anxiety because of the stresses and issues that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis
Mhm.
over these last few months. I would say
Yeah, yeah.
those
Um,
people who have a double whammy from COVID, who've been in the military, and now they're dealing with this. I mean, have you come into anything recently that kind of addresses any of that? I mean,
yeah, especially the people that you come across that are retired, they're on fixed incomes. They are pretty used to having predictable insurance plans and things like that. Policy changes, fluctuations in the market is really heightening that emotionality in people, and they're afraid, will I survive? I call anxiety the what if. It's the what if emotion. Well,
yeah,
what if I didn't do this? Well, what if I would have started when I was 18? If I just had to put a little more away? But what if, right? It takes us into that gerbil on the wheel.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
What if,
okay,
right? And so yeah, we are seeing such an influx of anxiety amongst particularly our seniors, our minorities, just people not really, they're unsure of what to
yeah,
expect,
okay,
right? The unpredictability
yeah.
of
Oh,
what we're
okay,
living.
yeah. I mean, unpredictability. I mean, if I take myself as an example, getting up in the morning, and you want to be so happy when you get up in the morning because hopefully you've had a good night's sleep. And the unfortunate thing is that you make the mistake after you have your coffee, you turn the TV on and
Mm,
watch the news. So
yes.
before you do anything else, finish your breakfast or whatever, you're anxious.
Hmm.
You're wondering what the rest of the day is going to be.
Hmm.
So I mean that makes perfect sense. And so I do have some questions here, and I know I'm generally asking some questions, but I do have some here. It says, maybe the first one here is, why might older adults feel particularly vulnerable or anxious during times of financial and political uncertainty?
So again, I think we touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Our older adults, our retirees, our seniors, we are living longer. So now we are having children who are experiencing their grandparents. They're
Yeah.
they're they're alive to experience them. So again, the fixed incomes. What is my Social Security check going to look like this month? Am I even going to receive it? Is my health care going to change? Am I still going to be able to get those little perks that, like I think it's called silver sneakers, and all the little things that we used to be able to provide and know that we could use our insurance for? Will my money sustain me being able to have a healthy diet? Will my 401k, is it going to sustain me? So particularly with our seniors, these feel like direct threats. It feels like direct threats to their individual security, the security of their children, the legacy they want to leave. And it just feels like rocky and shaky ground. And then to compile onto that, we have so many that also have a lifetime of memories of hard times, right?
Yeah.
They've lived through wars, whether they were active duty or whether they were at home waiting for their person to come home, right? They were in wars. They survived multiple recessions.
Yeah.
They survived natural disasters, right? So as you say, when you're waking up in the morning and you're seeing all these things playing on CNN and your Fox News and even your local news, it triggers that emotionality.
Yeah.
You're now put back into that moment in time when, I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I don't know that I know how it's going to end though, right? We don't have that blueprint to say.
It's kind of different every day, kind of deal with that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of different. And we all have a natural desire for stability, whatever that looks like, right? It's a natural human desire to be able to say, I want to retire at a retirement age, or I want to be able to, have my pension, but still, maybe be a Walmart greeter, and still have that little extra income, because I do still have some livelihood to me, and I do still have energy to do those things and have another job. But the unpredictability can feel especially unsettling when you're checking those boxes. Did I get that quota?
Absolutely. And you're right, checking the boxes. I mean, I find myself in there. I mean, I'm no spring chicken, obviously, but I've been around for a long time. But I mean, there's longevity in my family. My parents passed away when they're 90, 94, 92, that kind of thing. My uncles and aunts mostly in that kind of an area as well. And so hopefully I had that some of that longevity as well. But the issue too is that I am trying to position myself to leave a legacy for my grandkids. I tell my 3 kids right now, we messed up on you guys, but we're going to make sure that we take care of the grandbabies. And that's I get up every day wanting to do that. But again, it creates that anxious time, because again, you don't know what's going to happen with your finances based on, I keep trying not to get political here, but I mean, there's no way I can not say people are worried about the tariffs. I mean, one person says that it doesn't hit you in the pocket, and we know that it does hit you in the pocket. And the places that you go normally to shop, that's changing, or they're going out of business or whatever. And what are you going to do on a day-to-day basis? And so the anxiety is something that I think everybody needs. And so I don't know if you have a soliloquy or something that you can kind of give to people and let them know that, hey, everything's going to be all right.
Yeah. Anxiety is a normal human emotion, feeling. So so we use feeling and emotion, right? We use it interchangeably. Our emotions are how the feeling makes our body feel, right? It's the physical response, right? Ooh, my neck hurt. I'm tense. My back. I have a headache. My heart is racing. My chest is heavy. My stomach is irritable. My bones are aching. I know it's going to rain. Those are things right, that happen.
Yeah,
but a lot of times we just say, oh, we just pass it off as, oh, I stood up too long, or maybe, I was looking at I had too much computer time, or we don't really sit and say, how am I feeling? Because feeling is once we put a name to what's happening to us physically, right? The feeling is when we can verbalize, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling worried. I'm feeling sad.
Yeah.
So I want people to know that, anxiety is not a negative feeling or an emotion. It is a natural part of your human system. I call it your fire alarm, right? Your fire alarm in the house, does it go off when the fire hits it? No, it goes off at the first hint of smoke. So that anxiety is saying, hey, we might want to prepare for something.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and that's good. And I think, this, maybe you probably answered part of this question. This next question is, how can someone tell the difference between normal worry and anxiety that may need professional support? How do they determine when it's a good time to make a difference?
So as we've touched on, it's normal to feel concerned. It's normal to feel concerned about current events, whether it's your local news, your international news, your politics, whatever it is. It's normal. It's normal to feel that concern. But when worry becomes constant, right? You're feeling overwhelmed all the time. It's affecting your sleep. It's affecting your eating habits, whether you're not eating enough or you're eating too much. It's affecting your social activities. Are you tending to stay behind and not engage in those things that you used to enjoy? You might have been a grumpy poo, but now are you a more irritable and more easily irritated at the
Yeah.
smallest things, right? So these are some of the things that you want to pay attention to, and you want to notice how it's impacting your life every day. You mentioned waking up. If you're waking up and it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest, and you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen today?
Yeah.
And as you're getting out of bed, you're just cycling worry after worry after
Yeah.
worry after worry, and it becomes overwhelming. It starts to feel heavy, and you start to either lose track of thought or just have too many thoughts. That's when it's probably a sign that we need to talk to a doctor or a therapist.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, that's good. It's an issue of rather than just stew in the fact that you're having these worries and it's getting worse and your mind is just going crazy. Yeah,
Mhm.
I guess you're saying, I mean, somebody you need to step back, take a deep breath and say, I can't get past this. I need help.
Absolutely.
And
That's a
yeah,
perfect way of saying it. I can't get past this. And
yeah,
then don't judge yourself for it, right? A lot of my clients come and they're judging themselves for feeling anxious. I just hate that I feel this way and I just can't get it together. Hey, grace and compassion. You have to practice grace and compassion for yourself when you feel these feelings because, again, they're normal human feelings and emotions. They just got a little out of hand. And
yeah,
with help, you can come back to your normal, what we call baseline.
yeah. So they get a little bit out of control and they can't manage it. I mean, it would be, I guess the situation would be a better situation would be if the person is in that and they seem to be just constantly going through it and just can't seem to find the handle to pull to get out of it or to ask for that help. If they had, and this is maybe not everybody's case, if they had someone in their house with them or someone who knows them very well and who can suggest at this time that they need to go out and seek help. And then there's the other part of that, I don't need help, that kind of attitude kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so you have to get through that as well. And so uh, I got a couple of things here. Maybe this will help somebody as well. Say, what are some healthy ways seniors can manage anxiety about what's going on in the world?
So you want to focus on what you can control. Let go of everything else. If you can't control it, let
Let it
go.
go. Okay.
Only focus on what you control. We talked about this one. Limit your news consumption to maybe once or twice a day. I remember grandma would always say, well, you need to know what's going on in the world. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But watching the news from 4 a.m. to 7 when it's going to repeat the same information every 30 minutes, it's probably making it a little anxious.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I do that. So yeah.
And I'm guilty too. That's why I know the time frames, 4 a.m. to 7.
Yeah.
Doom scrolling, which means you go on the social media platforms, the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, the whatever they have now, and you are just getting loads and loads and loads of constant information. And most of them not from reputable sources.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now we've got all this information and all these perspectives, and we can't find our own individuality in all of that. So
Yeah.
now
Okay.
we're just building. So limit those things. Maintain your routine. If 5 a.m. is your get up time, get up, get out of bed, make your bed. I learned that one young. Make
Yeah.
the bed.
Make your bed.
See,
Yes.
I accomplished one thing.
Okay.
I made my bed. Then we move on. Whatever your morning routine is, if it's that Starbucks morning coffee, hanging out, whatever your routine is, keep that up. Your diet. Make sure we're limiting our caffeine. Caffeine can definitely, it's a stimulant.
Yeah.
So if you're drinking your coffee all day and you're like, why does my heart feel like this?
Got an idea, right?
Keep your body moving. So go on those daily walks. Hobbies, whatever that looks like for you. Some people volunteer, right? Which is a great gift in itself, because that is a reciprocal gift, right? I'm giving and I'm also receiving in giving that time. And it makes me feel like I'm giving something back to this world that has me stressed out. Let's see, maintain your structure. So all of these things, the social engagement, right? Go to the bingo club, find your group of people who have the same interests as you, whether it's a community walking group, a community bingo club, whatever that looks like. Find those people, connect. Structure calms the nervous system, right? When we focus on what we can control and we do those actionable steps, it reminds our brain that, oh, okay, we're not powerless. There are things that we can do. Connect with others. That is the most important of all as well. So
yeah, I mean, as you're saying that, if you got a routine or something like that, but one of the things that sometimes helps me get out of myself is you can watch a movie on TV, that's one thing, but I go to the theater, get out of your environment, change your environment and what you're doing and where you're going. And so I'll go and watch a movie. And so I'm thinking about the movie, the action and everything that's going on and all the stuff that happened during the day. I just kind of gives me a chance for 2 or 3 hours to get out of that.
It gives you
And
a time
awesome.
to disassociate. I get to put that I get to put my stress in a little box. I'm going to come back to it. I'm not ignoring it. I'm just saying, hey, anxiety, thank you for coming to the party, but we're not dancing right now.
That's it. Yep, that's it. I don't know if we got one time. Well, we're getting a little close. Let me see if I can get this one in here. What is one small actionable step listeners can take today to start feeling more in control and less anxious?
Again, just turning your attention
The change, right?
in your power. Yep.
Okay.
And again, that one small thing, making that phone call to the friend that's been on your mind for 2 months. Just making that phone call, actually making the phone call, maybe not texting, right? Okay. Talking to a financial advisor about your budget. If the budget is what's bringing that fear and that worry, and also being mindful of how you talk about the anxiety. Instead of saying, I am anxious. No, we want to say, I feel anxious. Yeah. Because we don't want to personalize it. No, because anxiety isn't who I am. It's a function of me trying to get through life and it helping me know, hey, danger, Will Robinson, we need to
right.
do some things. So one thing at a time, one small actionable step. Again, let your brain know you do have control and you're not powerless.
Yeah, I mean I think that's great. I'm not anxious. I feel anxious. It's not me. It's just something that I feel. Yeah. Feelings can change, right?
Yes.
All right.
So, and
it has been awesome, and I so appreciate you. We seem to be running out of time here, but maybe I'll have you back here because this is helping me as well, and that's why I wanted other people to kind of hear some of the things along in this line, because it's one thing to have a healthy body, but your mind has to go along with that healthy body as well, and so that's really, really significant. So before we go, why don't you tell folks how they can reach you?
So the name of my practice is Victorious Healing. You can find me on Psychology Today, either by looking up my name, Brianna J. Dixon, or Victorious Healing. You can also find me at Hello Alma. And you can also give me a call, 702-283-1437.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Brianna. Again, I appreciate you being here. I am so excited about you being here. This is just awesome. I just love you and I appreciate it. Thank you for being my guest. And so, as the rest of you know, my podcast broadcasts at 10 o'clock on every Tuesday. And so why don't you try to reach us there on 10 o'clock every Tuesday on PR Communications. And so I look forward to seeing you. And there's a friend I have that's always saying when we leave the event, he said, the best is yet to come. So have a blessed one. Thank you.
Have a blessed day. Thank you.
All right.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.